So he waylays at our confidence. And if we say we fully are confident in God, and yet as believers we're not confident in ourselves, what we say concerning our confidence in God is not truly, it is not fully true.
Right.
And that's not to hurt anybody's feelings or judge anybody. It's just the truth. Because when you fully have confidence in Him, that brings confidence in yourself and your abilities through Christ.
Right.
And so that lays the foundation for what God is speaking to us. Confidence. God wants you to have confidence in Him and in yourself, in your abilities that are founded upon Him. I mentioned just a couple other C words that the enemy loves and the enemy hates. He loves the word coincidence. And he wants us to believe that just things that happen in life are coincidences. And I mentioned one example in my life. She wasn't here Sunday, so we talked about her. She's here tonight. I won't mention any names, Janice, but and just the whole setup with Doug and her brother and Lloyd in Paraguay. And by the way, I ask you to help me pray concerning that. The reason I haven't given you a date and we haven't moved forward on that much needed trip is that we're having trouble with an interpreter. Everyone that I worked with, no one spoke English. It wasn't like Africa. Most of the pastors and so forth, plenty of interpreters speak English. And then as we minister with an interpreter, that works. But in Paraguay, that's not how it works. And so they speak their own version of Spanish. And Lloyd, who is Paraguayan, as I mentioned, Sunday morning, is not able to go on this trip in February. They're hoping to get things worked out. There were some situations with her documentation and paperwork, and so it just wasn't able to happen. And so we've been waiting on to hear that, and then after hearing that, trying to find, because what I'm going to do in Paraguay, it has to be someone that not only is good and fluent and will interpret correctly, but it also has to be someone very trustworthy, because we'll be dealing with the full legalization of Dream Nations in Paraguay, so that we can have as many churches as God wants us to have. And also, the trip is to go to meet with pastors who are wanting to meet with us as we explain to you what has gone on, what we discovered when we went to Paraguay. I explained to that when we came back from the trip. It's not like a church split. It's more like a denomination split has happened in that country, in a full gospel, spirit-filled denomination. And so the doors are open wide, but it has to be an interpreter that can be trusted as we're visiting and having meetings with these pastors, not to mention our pastors of the two Dream Nations churches in Paraguay. So there's very delicate things. And so I want you to pray with me that God will nail down that interpreter so that we can get on and take care of business, because March trip to Zimbabwe and Mozambique is fastly approaching. So will you pray with me? Yes. We need that breakthrough. God doesn't want me, the enemy doesn't want me going this month to take care of this needed business. And what happens in February sets things up for June. In June, it'll be much more ministry intensive, and we'll be taking a team with us. And you're welcome to go with us if God leads you. And so pray about that. But anyway, we spoke to you about that divine setup. And when we believe that life is not full of coincidence but divine setups, it builds our confidence. Because then we understand it's not luck, or we're not just getting lucky, but God is truly